Sri Milind Murli Devda, 15 minutes. Sri Milind
Thank you,
Murli
sir.
Devda.
सर, आज हम भारत के संविधान के 75वां वर्ष की गौरवशाली यात्रा पर चर्चा कर रहे हैं और पिछले सप्ताह और आज के दिन लोकसभा और राज्यसभा में अन्य सांसदों का भाषण सुनने का हम सबको अवसर मिला. So I know the wish of the chair under your leadership that when everyone comes together, India can achieve great things. And I think that is the fundamental message when we remember and honor the founding fathers of this constitution. So हमारे personal political differences हो सकते हैं, लेकिन भारत संविधान और लोकतंत्र से ऊपर कुछ नहीं है. सर, मैं बहुत ही स्पेसिफिक 5 पॉइंट्स हाईलाइट करना चाहता हूं, which I believe have strengthened the constitution in the recent past without going deep into history. सर, सबसे पहले 1975 में जब हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली ने 1950 में हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन को अपनाया, 25 years later in 1975, when the constitution's adoption was being celebrated, so I am willing to disclose my age, I was not born at that time. 25 years ago, when we were celebrating 50 years of the Constitution, I was not a member of this House. Today, at the age of 48, I am very privileged to be able to participate, join my fellow Indians to commemorate 75 years of the adoption of our Constitution. And for that, I wish to congratulate the government for finally celebrating and recognizing Samvidhan Divas 65 years after the Constitution was adopted, starting from 2015. Sir, I firmly believe younger people are watching us today, and this commemoration, this annual commemoration, this debate today and tomorrow, the debate last week, will go a long way in inspiring and educating future generations about the values enshrined in our Constitution, about the vast and timeless contributions of Dr. Ambedkar towards strengthening India. So that is the first point that I wish to congratulate this government for strengthening this Constitution in the recent past. So secondly, मेरे पहले कई लोगों ने 370 के बारे में उन्होंने अपने भाषणों में इस पॉइंट को हाईलाइट किया. Sir, I have no doubt in my mind that the abrogation of Article 370 in 2019, which led to Jammu and Kashmir's full integration into India's constitutional framework, ensured a uniform application of laws across the country, also upheld India's sovereignty. सर, मैं अपने खुद के अनुभव से कह सकता हूं, 370 हटने के बाद मैं स्वयं 3 बार कश्मीर जा चुका हूं. And I have seen the biggest benefits of the abrogation of 370 are with the Kashmiri youth. Why were they deprived is a separate issue, which is a political issue. Sir, thirdly, the GST Council today, which operates on a consensus model, takes all states along. The Niti Aayog, which has replaced the Planning Commission, have empowered states in decision-making and upheld federal principles of our Constitution. So the fourth way that I believe the Constitution has been strengthened, 2023 में लोकसभा और स्टेट असेंबलीज में महिलाओं के लिए 33% सीटें आरक्षित करने वाला महिला आरक्षण बिल, मैं मानता हूं कि हमारे देश के लेजिस्लेटिव प्रोसेस को अधिक मजबूत बनाने में एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण कदम है। हम भी चाहते हैं कि ये जल्द से जल्द इम्प्लीमेंट किया जाए। सर, आज की डिबेट माननीय वित्त मंत्री ने इनिशिएट किया एंड मैं पूरी तरह से उनकी बातों से सहमत हूं कि इन माय ओपिनियन द फिफ्थ वे that the Indian Constitution has been strengthened in the recent past. After all, what does the Constitution talk about? Equality, justice, inclusion is through the use of technology. So I think it's fair to say that there is a constitutional revolution underway in India through the use of platforms like Aadhaar, Unified Payments Interface, and Digital India. November 2024 में, last month, the UPI platform generated almost 15 billion transactions. This is unheard of anywhere in the world and is a very, very good example of India's financial inclusion initiatives. Today, 75% of India's villages have access to at least one digital banking service. Sir, Dr. Ambedkar और हमारे संविधान के निर्माताओं ने, they may not have foreseen smartphones and digital IDs, but I have no doubt that today they would welcome and embrace the use of technologies to empower India's weakest sections. And इस संदर्भ में मैं और एक बार सरकार को उनकी विजन, डेडिकेशन और लगातार फोकस के लिए देश के सभी नागरिकों की ओर से बहुत बहुत बधाई देना चाहूंगा। आप यूपीआई नहीं यूज करते हैं? सर, देयर इज सम इनकन्वीनियंट ट्रूथ्स। सर, देयर आर सम इनकन्वीनियंट ट्रूथ्स नाउ because my friend interrupted me that I must raise. And these are inconvenient truths that many members in this house, starting from here to there, I know, will agree with me on. Sir, one, listen to me, listen. Number one, sir, आज अगर किसी राजनीतिक दल अपने अंदर डेमोक्रेसी नहीं ला सकते हैं, तो वे भारत में संविधान और लोकतंत्र को कैसे मजबूत करें? Now you'll agree. Sir, today, some parties today very vociferously
Mr. Gokhale,
voice their opinion on market monopolies. But they still haven't been able to counter monopolies within their own parties. So let us be honest. World over, when we look at democracies, when we look at political parties, ultimately the health of a country's democracy is dependent on the democratic health of its parties. I have not named any party, but I urge parties, those who know who I'm talking about and have a guilty conscience, please introspect. Please try to democratize. Sir, another inconvenient truth and a fake narrative.
Please. आपस में बात नहीं, please.
Sir, another fake narrative and inconvenient truth.
ये विष क्यों लग रहा है आपको विषय?
Sir, another fake narrative and inconvenient truth जो मैं रेज करना चाहूँगा, जो कुछ ही दिन पहले इनफैक्ट हमारे इंडिया अलायंस के गठबंधन साथी जो जम्मू और कश्मीर के मुख्यमंत्री हैं, तत्कालीन मुख्यमंत्री हैं, is the issue which I don't think anyone has raised today, the issue of electronic voting machines. जब चुनाव जीतते हैं, कुछ लोग तो ईवीएम्स का स्वागत करते हैं, जब चुनाव हारते हैं तो ईवीएम में कुछ गड़बड़ है। और सर, I have fought.
प्लीज आपस में बात न करें। मिलिंद जी आप बोले, मिलिंद जी आप बोले।
Sir, I have fought today five elections. My first election was in the year 2004. Just for the information of the House, EVMs were not introduced in one shot. They were introduced in pilot phases. 2004 was the first Lok Sabha election where every parliament constituency in the country had EVMs as a means of electing their candidates. I believed in them then, and I believe in them now. And I'm willing to say today that if there's any iota of evidence, credible evidence, that EVMs can be hacked, I'll be the first one to fight for better systems. But आज कुछ लोग जो कह रहे हैं कि EVMs को हटाइए और EVMs के बजाय पेपर बैलेट्स लाइए, मैं उनको कहना चाहता हूं कि पेपर बैलेट्स भी कोई परफेक्ट सोल्यूशन नहीं है।
लूट लिया जाता था।
पेपर बैलेट्स, बिल्कुल आप बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं। पेपर बैलेट्स केम with the risk of booth capturing, manual tampering. Today, in a day when we are talking about environmental preservation, how many trees do we have to cut for paper ballots? And most importantly, the issue of human errors. Sir, Election Commission of India ने 2017 में, I think उन्होंने एक राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर एक EVM हैकाथॉन कार्यक्रम आयोजित किया था। मैं आज सर आपके माध्यम से इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया से निवेदन करूंगा कि हर साल आप एक ग्लोबल, नेशनल नहीं, ग्लोबल लेवल EVM चैलेंज हैकाथॉन को अरेंज कीजिए और ऐसे चैलेंज अरेंज कीजिएगा जिसमें हर राजनीतिक दल को इनवाइट कीजिए, दुनिया भर के सबसे अच्छे हैकर्स को इनवाइट कीजिए। लेट देम ट्राई टू हैक द मशीन्स दैट दे क्लेम आर हैकेबल, बट if they are unable to hack the machines, then with grace, let us all accept one inconvenient truth, that blaming EVMs was only an excuse because there was no inner party democracy and inner party transparency in the party. सर आज भारत का संविधान विश्व के लिए एक प्रकाश स्तंभ, एक लाइट हाउस, एक बीकन है। Sir, at a time when you look at democracies around the world, from the oldest democracy, the United States, to newer democracies in the global south, in the Western world, when democracies worldwide are grappling with voter mistrust, with political instability, anti-establishment protests, our Constitution's ability to balance tradition and modernity stands out. सर, हमने दिखाया है कि अपने सांस्कृतिक मूल्यों पर कायम रहते हुए बदलते समय के साथ परिवर्तन कैसे किया जा सकता है। And we must remember and we must take pride. From South Africa's post-apartheid constitution in 1996 all the way to Nepal's constitution in 2015, several countries have drawn inspiration from India's constitution over the past 75 years, especially in the areas of federalism, affirmative action, and fundamental rights. सर, आज ज़रूरत है कि हम सब हमारे जो पेटी राजनीति है उससे ऊपर उठकर यह सुनिश्चित करें कि हमारा संविधान और लोकतंत्र अगली पीढ़ियों के लिए और भी मजबूत बने। मैंने एक जो पॉइंट छेड़ा कि हमें खुद के पार्टियों में लोकतंत्र लाना चाहिए, आज मैं गर्व से कह सकता हूं कि मेरे पार्टी के नेता एकनाथ शिंदे जी, उन्होंने और एक बार शिवसेना में डेमोक्रेसी रिस्टोर किया। शिवसेना एक प्रकार से राजशाही की शासन उन्होंने बंद किया, उन्होंने डेमोक्रेसी रिस्टोर किया। एंड आईड लाइक टू शेयर सर अ मैसेज, a text message I received. Please listen to this to my friends. A text message I received from an American friend of mine. He's a Democrat. You may have received those messages. No, those are, I know who receives those messages. Don't make me open my mouth, please. Please open it. Sir, I'd like to share a text message from a Democrat American, who, by the way, he has friends across this aisle. I'm just quoting what he said. He said, Milind, the fact that a young man selling tea at a railway station could dream of becoming the Prime Minister of the world's biggest democracy and actually overcome all odds to achieve his dream speaks volumes about your country, India's voters, and the Constitution, and the vibrancy of its democracy. It's a story that inspires me and several of my friends. Sir, आज एक ज़रूरतमंद परिवार से आए हुए मोदी जी के साथ साथ भारत को अपनी पहली आदिवासी महिला राष्ट्रपति मिली है। यह हम सभी को भारतीय होने पे गर्व महसूस करता है। I hope all the members, especially some of my friends on this side, will take my suggestion in the right spirit, will try to reform, and will try to learn from their mistakes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Thank you. माननीय डॉक्टर अभिषेक मनु सिंघवी जी, 15 minutes.